Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial we are going to be first reviewing PDB Glitter Pack number 57. This glitter pack was collaborated with Kimberly Martin, who many of you know as Sweary Kim. She mixed all 5 of these glitters herself. She did an incredible job, and of course PDB Creative Studio put in all that hard work to get them mixed in bulk and bottled up in these awesome bottles for us, so I cannot wait to show you all of these beautiful glitters. The first one that we are looking at here is Heart Happy. This is a beautiful 0.015 cut opal glitter. You can use it for so many different things, because if you don't have a certain glitter color, you can base paint your tumbler and then put an opal over top, and it will reflect your base color underneath with that beautiful sparkle. Any opal that I can get my hands on, I have it because I use them so much. Next we have If You Will. This is a multi-size, multicolor mix, and I mean, it speaks for itself. It is absolutely beautiful. You have your deep pinks and some green in there. You can use this for so many different things. Now, these glitter packs are released on Thursday of the second full week of every month. When they are released in the packs of 5, they are at a discounted price, and then later on in the month, normally towards the last week, they are released individually at full price. And of course, at that point, you can use my discount code, which is BBS21 at pdbcreativestudio.com. Once they're released, you'll be able to find them in the What's New section. But if you want to get your hands on the next glitter pack at a discounted price, make sure you check down below. All of the details will be there in order to get your hands on one. This glitter that we are looking at is Get Effed. It is an absolutely stunning mix. Words can't even explain it. You have to see it in person to get the full effect, but my gosh, just look at it on camera. Now, if you're wondering about the names of these glitters, not only were they mixed by Sweary Kim, but they were also named by her as well. Hence the name Sweary and Sweary Kim. You get it. So on to the next color, we have Wrong Zip. This is a really pretty lavender mix. We have lots of different shapes and sizes of cut in this, but there's a lot of the extra fine in this one. Not only does PDB Creative Studio already have excellent coverage, but when you take a chunky mix and you add in that extra fine glitter, you're gonna get an incredible amount of coverage on whatever project you may be working on. So last but not least, we have Minty Sagey. This is also a chunky mix, and I really wish that I would have used a white sheet of paper as well as a black. I really want to show y'all how these glitters look different on different bases, so I've got to remember to do that next time. I will use white paper and black so you can see how the glitter reflects on both colors. Don't forget to check down below for all the details on how to get your hands on the next glitter pack, as well as the date for the individual release of these glitters. Again, it's Heart Happy, If You Will, Get Effed, Wrong Zip, and Minty Sagey. We're going to dive right into our tumbler tutorial. I'm using a True 32 from the Still Magnolia company. If you do not have some tumblers for Father's Day, this is a really good cup to use for those ready to ship Father's Day orders. I know we're adding glitter to this one, but there's a lot of area on here, so you can really make those big bold decals and big statements with this tumbler. So definitely grab you some. I will have a discount code listed below for you, of course. I have already base painted this tumbler white. We are using Heart Happy for the top portion of this tumbler. I want to have a larger 4-inch decal up top, and then we're going to go in with our multicolors of glitters down at the bottom. So I held my cup at an angle to sprinkle on all of the Heart Happy up top. And then once I got down towards the bottom, I lightly sprinkled that so I can sort of ombre up all of these multicolors. I didn't want any harsh lines, so I very lightly went in with one coat of glitter until I had filled all of those areas in at the bottom, and then I went in with a second round to fill it in just a little bit better. Once I had the coverage that I wanted with all of the other colors, I went back in with wrong zip and sprinkled it all around that area on the bottom and lightly sprinkled it right there where the cup transitions to the bottom portion so it would give a little bit of an ombre effect and fill in any areas that I may have missed with the other chunky glitter. So then I went in with my hand and just dabbed the glitter down. I should have had a glove when I'm doing this because we did use epoxy to apply our glitter. I did use DIY's Speedy PD Fast Set epoxy for this, so I only allowed this to dry for about 3 hours. I sealed it with Rust-Oleum matte clear coat, and then I gave it 2 coats of epoxy, lightly sanding in between those coats so that we can add on our decal onto a nice slick surface. I found this really awesome image on Etsy. If I were well behaved, I would die of boredom. I love it. I made this decal 4 inches and printed it on clear water slide. I just ran that under the sink, made sure my tumbler was damp before I applied the water slide, and then I took some tissue paper after I had it in position and squeegeed out all of that excess water underneath. I allowed this to dry for about a solid hour just because I had other things to do, and then I printed out, or I cut out, our skull leopard print so I can apply this to the bottom as a stencil before we do our power wash. This one was from Creative Fabrica, and I wanted to do a peekaboo with all of those beautiful glitter colors, but I also wanted sort of like a grunge effect, I guess you would say, to go along with the decal. So we're doing a peekaboo on the bottom, but we're going to achieve that by going over with a couple of spray paint colors with Power Wash. I just filled in the bottom portion of the tumbler with these decals, and then once I got to the back side of it, I did go up maybe an inch or two just so we can get that full-on ombre effect with everything we have going on here. Now once you have all of your stencils on, I do highly suggest cutting out some masking tape or something to cover your decal up. I thought that I could cover it up with the Power Wash and it not get spray paint on it, but since we did not have a layer of epoxy in between our decal and the spray paint that I was putting on, I couldn't necessarily remove any excess of the spray paint that did make its way to my decal, and covering up with Power Wash did not work that great. I had to keep going back. I was getting frustrated, but in the end it turned out really good. I just wish that my decal would have been a little bit clearer so it could be more crisp, especially with all of that fine print that we have going on. And as you can see, I did go really heavy around the top rim as well as over my decal with the Dawn Power Wash. I wanted to get that ombre from the top to the bottom, thicker coverage of paint on the bottom so that we would be able to see our skulls peeking through that paint once we remove the stencils. And then immediately after I did my first color of spray paint, I washed that off, allowed it to dry completely, and then did a second coat of Power Wash with black spray paint. As soon as I was finished with my spray paint, I ran inside and washed it off in the sink and allowed that to dry completely before removing our stencils. Once I had removed all of my stencils, then it was time to epoxy. We are using DIY's Speedy PD, which is a 1:1 ratio fast set. We're going to add just a little bit of Get Effed into our epoxy for our final coat, just so we can add in a little bit more sparkle, a little something extra to the top layers of our tumbler. Now what I should have done is go over my decal first with the clear epoxy and then added in the additional glitter. I did end up having to pick some of that glitter off of my decal, but it was fine in the end. So this is actually my very first time trying out Speedy Petey from DIY Epoxy. I have used their Artisan Epoxy in the past and it is absolutely incredible. That is their regular epoxy, but this fast set, let me tell y'all about this fast set. So after 30 minutes, I was able to actually touch this cup. It is pettable after 30 minutes. I of course turned my turner off since we did add a chunky glitter in here. I wanted to give it a light sand before adding on my final layer. I gave it about 8 to 12 hours to dry before I did go in and sand, and then since Speedy Petey can be used as a final coat, I went in with about 30 milliliters for my final coat, and this epoxy was dry. This video was taken 2 hours after my final coat, 2 hours. Now, of course, that can be different for you depending on your environment, but seriously, it just made my jaw drop when I was able to take this off of my turner and take pictures of it only 2 hours after I have epoxied it. If you're wanting to give DIY epoxy a try for yourself, I definitely suggest it. I will have that linked below, as well as all of the other products used in this tutorial with discount codes and how to get your hands on the next glitter pack. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. As soon as the glitter is released individually, I will notify everybody in my Facebook group. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell in the corner to be notified anytime a new tutorial drops. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.